In this video, we're going to tackle skeleton scale and whatever issues you may have with it. So I'm going to show you the problem first. I'm not going to explain what it is. I'm just on a brand new, just to make 100% sure. Let me re-enable screen keys. I'm on a brand new, fresh project. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a cylinder. I'll move the origin up. Get on the Z, and I'm just going to use this to make my skeleton off of. I'm going to have a point of reference, and that's going to be the mannequin that was exported out of Unreal Engine. I have a point of scale. So there's the scale. I'm going to scale this down. I'm actually going to scale it right to about to his head height and apply the scale. So that's how big this object is going to be. I'm going to go ahead and add some armature. There, and there. Add some loop cuts here, right at the heads of the armature, like so. Then parent it to the armature. I'm going to let it do automatically. And I'm going to simply, for now, I'm going to go ahead and make an animation. It's only going to be, I don't know, 20 frames long. And I want to set it to run at 30 FPS. So let's begin. I want it to start out straight. Then, I don't know, 10 frames through. Rotate and rotate. And copy the starting position. Go to frame 21. Now we have a perfect loop. What I'm going to do first is just export this out. No animations at all. Into Unreal Engine. Delete all these real quick. And drag it in. Import everything like normal. If I drag and drop this guy, as you can see, the scale is right how we had it. Right at the head level, roughly. Granted, he's in a different pose right now, so it's not quite as tall, but the scale is correct. Now let's say I go ahead and I want to export the animation we just made. So this. Well, I'm going to export that as normal. And again, I already gave you these presets in a previous video. The export settings. Let's do untitled _ animation. I will drag and drop that in. Make sure the skeleton's selected and hit import. You can ignore that. But if you look in the window, it's not there. Like you can see this little tiny thing way down here. And this is the object. It's just very, very tiny. So if I drag it out, drag it up, you can see it. If I hit simulate, you can see it doing its little dance. But it's nowhere near the correct size. It's not even close to what the original size was. Now, one way you can fix this, which is not really the proper way, you can import it again, change the import scale to 100. Then you just import like normal, you can drag and drop. As you can see, it works just fine. I wouldn't get into the habit of doing that. What I would do is actually fix it from the get-go. So I'm going to delete all these and redo it. So the reason it's failing is because of how the scaling works between Blender and Unreal Engine. The scaling is not 1-to-1. It's you got to multiply it by 100 up or down to get the correct scaling. So what I'm going to do is I'll just start fresh again. Re-enable screencast keys. Delete everything. Okay. And what we have to do from the very start is come over here, go to Scene Properties, Units, change the unit scale to 0.01. As you can see, the grid changed drastically, so I don't like that. So I'm going to go to View, change the endpoint to 100 meters, and there we go. So what I'm going to do is, I wonder if it'll actually show me the size if I import it. No, it doesn't. Basically, I'm going to go ahead and re-import the mannequin. Use that for the size reference again. But if I were to just apply the unit scale like I just did to the old project, the object itself would probably be about halfway up his ankle. It would be extremely small to the freshly imported mannequin at the correct scale. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new cylinder. Same thing as always. About head height. Apply the scale. Create some armature. One thing I don't like about this is the bones start out very small. Next though. Give some loop cuts. That way there's some points for it to bend. Or better yet, also to apply the weights. And there we go. So again, let's do 20 frames. Frame 0 is going to be normal. 10 is going to have the bend. And 21 reverts it. So we're back to normal. I just want to change the frame rate back to 30. And there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and export this just like last time. Import it right in. Everything's fine. Go ahead and do the same thing, but export the animation. Make sure the scale is back at 1 like it was initially. And it's just fine. So our little bug there is fixed. We're running at, our scale is not oversized to 100. It is back at 1, which you can see by the scale here. So if previously, if we were to click on the root bone, the scale would show 100. So everything is applied correctly. Our scaling is proper. And there's nothing for us to worry about because we are good to go. And we have our object how we want it. So that is going to be all for this video. We have tackled some very, in my opinion, key things that really deserve a deeper explanation than some people give. So hopefully if you were confused about anything, it cleared it up, specifically the UVs. That is, yeah, that's actually going to be all for this little mini series. I plan to do more Blender related stuff, but my focus is still on creating features programming wise. But as I learn with Blender and progress, I will make more and more videos as I try to practice by creating new objects like I have been in the Game Assets from Scratch series. So hopefully that ends up turning into something decent. Anyways, if you want to learn how to make an HK416, there is a link to a playlist in the description. The playlist is not made from me, but he does go into a good amount of detail. He does the steps very simply. It's a low poly model, so it's very easy for beginners to follow, in my opinion. And he covers each individual part as it needs to be. If you like what I'm doing and you want to help support me, as we just got to the 4 a.m. mark, so I'm ready to go to bed, you can find a link to my Patreon in the description, which also contains my Team Deathmatch series, which has 100 and something, it's like 100 and, I don't know, 12-ish videos, where we make the Team Deathmatch game mode from scratch. We make our own weapon customizer, bunch of other stuff. I have a preview video on it. And if you have any questions or anything like that, you can find a link to my Discord down in the description as well, where I will try to lend a hand to any game developer questions you have. And same thing, I have a lot of other helpful members in my Discord that will lend a hand as well. So that is the end for this series. And I will see you in whatever I decide to do next. I have no clue. So, yeah, have a good one.